the sidelines for a long time. Now I'm finally getting in the game. It's about time. This is my time. This is my time. The only thing I consider impossible is losing. I've been waiting on the sidelines for a long time. Now I'm finally getting in the game. It's about time. This is my time. This is my time. The only thing I consider impossible is losing. On the sidelines for a long time. Now I'm finally getting in the game. It's about time. This is my time. This is my time. The only thing I consider impossible is losing. I've been waiting on the sidelines for a long time. Now I'm finally getting in the game. It's about time. This is my time. This is my time. The only thing I consider impossible is losing. On the sidelines for a long time. Now I'm finally getting in the game. It's about time. This is my time. This is my time. The only thing I consider impossible is losing. I've been waiting on the sidelines for a long time. Now I'm finally getting in the game. It's about time. This is my time. This is my time. The only thing I
And that concludes our show for tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, thank you so much for tuning in to TDPHINSTALK, home of the real Miami Dolphin fans. Tomorrow morning, I will be getting up extra early to do this stream. Thank you again. I will see you all soon. Peace. I am out. Good night, baby. Let me. Man, can you turn your light off? It's hard for me to sleep like this.
I'm almost over this chapter. I got about 30 more minutes.
30 minutes?
Yeah.
I can't sleep. Oh, all right.
A few moments later.
Babe, I mean, it's been 10 minutes. Can you please shut it off? I got to wake up early in the morning.
I have about 20 more minutes on this chapter. This is my only time to read.
I understand, but I have to get up early in the morning. Can you just read in the morning? I mean, I have a lot I have to do tomorrow.
Didn't you just get a sleep mask?
You know what? You right.
Use it.
Man to sleep, baby.
I don't know how you sleep with that thing on.
It's actually comfortable. Pitch black. I don't have to worry about your light. I'll be able to sleep just fine.
Well, enjoy it. It looks good on you.
This actually feels good. Oh, good night, baby.
Good night, love you.
Love you too. Ladies and gentlemen, check out Manta Sleep. The link to the website is in the description of this video. Make sure that you use promo code TDPHINSTALK. That is TDPHINSTALK. Again, make sure you check them out. Supporting our sponsors is supporting the channel. If you can't sleep when it's bright, these masks will turn out the light. Manta Sleep, check them out. What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to TDPHINSTALK, home of the real Miami Dolphin fans. We have breaking news. Cincinnati Bengals quarterback Joe Burrow just got his fifth-year option picked up. I had no idea that the option was picked up until I saw my inbox flooded with the coat of Tua Tagovailoa. Joe Burrow got his fifth-year option picked up. Oh, no. And I was just like, what are y'all talking about? Like literally my inbox, and I'm getting messages. I'm like, did we get Lamar Jackson? Man, I had so many inboxes. Man, what happened? Joe Burrow got his fifth-year option picked up. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, Joe Burrow's fifth-year option is not the same as Tua Tagovailoa's six-year option. Let me ask y'all a question. Do you think Tua Tagovailoa is going to get a contract extension between now and September? Yes or no in the comment section. Do you think that Tua Tagovailoa is going to get a contract extension between now and September? Yes or no in the comment section, please. Okay, we already know the answer. I ain't got to wait on the answer. The answer for most people should be no. This is no different from Kyler Murray. They picked up Kyler Murray's fifth-year option on April 27th of 2022. 2 months later, Kyler Murray got his 5-year extension. You're automatically going to pick up the fifth-year option when you know that you're going to give a long-term extension, because now the Bengals, when they give Burrow his extension this offseason, they will have probably a 5-year extension plus the 2 remaining years on his contract now. They'll have 7 years to spread out his money. If Tua gets an extension next year and it's a 5-year deal, we'll have 6 years to spread out his money. This is the way it works. You usually pick up the fifth-year option right before you're about to give the big money. This is actually a sign that they might be closer to a long-term deal. Nobody has any question that Joe Burrow is going to get a contract extension. But if you do it this year, you have more years to spread out the cap. If you do it next year, you have less years to spread out the cap. It's that simple. They all going to get their fifth-year option picked up. It's a matter of who's going to get the extension right afterwards. So between now and September, expect Joe Burrow's contract extension to come through. Don't know what the numbers are going to be. It'll be real. Unless Joe Burrow betting on himself. I don't know. Unless Joe Burrow's saying, I ain't signing no extension right now. I want another year to play out. I want some of this new money to kick in. Maybe that could be a case too. But ladies and gentlemen, expect Joe Burrow, Justin Herbert, and these guys to potentially go ahead and sign their extension between now and September. You pick up the fifth-year option because now you have an additional year to spread the money. So if I do a 5-year extension, I got 5 years past the fifth-year option. Plus I got year 4 and the 5th year, and I get to spread all that money throughout. If I don't do an extension and I wait till the next year, like Tua might do if he balls out, Now I only have 1 year of extra to spread the money, and it's the higher year. It's also the higher year at 23 million. So if they sign a contract extension for Joe Burrow, they'll have this $13-14 million year. They'll have a $23 million year, and then they'll have all those $50 million years, but they'll be able to play with the money with more flexibility. It's that simple. Just go look at Kyler Murray. That's what's happening, ladies and gentlemen. Kyler Murray signed his on April 27th last year. And in June or July, he signed his massive extension. That's all. So again, all these people in my inbox, oh, Joe Burrow must be sucked because he got his fifth-year option picked up. Well, I never said Tua sucks, and that's why he got his fifth-year option picked up, but that's what y'all insinuate because deep down, some of y'all feel that way, but you just mad at me for not even expressing it, but kind of showing you. But anyway, the difference is everybody knows Tua is not getting a massive extension this offseason. And Joe Burrow is going to sit there and continue to negotiate because the deadline is coming in a few days anyway for the fifth-year option. The deadline is right on the doorstep. What is the deadline? May 1st or something like that? Hold on, let me see. This year, the deadline is May 1st. So we knew it was coming this week or next week. Joe Burrow, look for his to be coming next. Look for his to be coming next. It's that simple. Now, it'll be weird if Joe Burrow skips his. That just means that I doubt that. I doubt he'll skip his. Joe Burrow better take his money. He better take his money. But time will tell. We'll see how these contracts go. But ladies and gentlemen, the Bengals picking up Burrow's fifth-year option was inevitable. You always pick it up before you give the massive contract extension because it gives you more flexibility in spreading the money, and it also buys you a little bit of more negotiating time as well as you try to work through the details of these massive contracts. These are new age contracts. Someone just came and knocked the camera over. Ugh. Boy, oh boy. The total disregard. Just hit my camera. Okay, he ain't knock it out. All right. But yeah, that's all. That's all y'all need to know about that, man. It ain't no big news. Joe Burrow got his fifth-year option picked up, so now they have the flexibility to do a long-term extension and spread the money even more. Speaking of spreading money, what did I tell y'all? These people, what did I tell y'all about Aaron Rodgers' contract? I even told y'all yesterday. What did I tell y'all about Aaron Rodgers' contract? Anybody remember? Does anybody remember Aaron Rodgers' contract? What I told y'all? For those who don't know, Aaron Rodgers had 2 years left on his contract with the Green Bay Packers worth about $100 million, okay? And this year, he was going to be a $60 million cap hit against the Green Bay Packers. The Jets traded for him, restructured his contract. Now he's under contract all the way to 2026. So he's under contract for 4 years. Remember, he only had 2 years left of his contract, but now all of a sudden it's 4 years left. You see what I say? I already told y'all. Stop trying to sit here and tell me about the money with these quarterbacks. Now it's going to hurt the Jets later. Yeah, they're going to be hurting later. But right now, they ain't going to be hurting. They're not going to be hurting right now. Because this year, Aaron Rodgers is a $15.8 million cap hit. They literally cleared up like $41 million worth of cap space on his contract. 41 million they cleared. And this year he is only a cap hit of 15.8 million with a dead cap of almost 60 million. Next year, he's a cap hit of 32.5 million with a dead cap of 43 million. And then in 2025, he's a cap hit of 51 million with a dead cap of 29 million. I give Rodgers 2 years in New York max. So basically, in 2 years in New York, he is going to be worth 58 million. Wait, they're $48 million worth of cap hit. So on average for the next 2 years, he's going to hurt them for 24 million each, which is nothing. Next year, the average is about to what Tua is making. And if he retires after that, they still on the books for 29 million. So they'll basically break it in half. It'll be 14.5 million dead cap in 25, 14.5 million dead cap in 26. He won't even be on the team, but that'll go against their cap, 14.5 million. And this is what I was trying to explain to you guys. When you're in a window and you're going for broke, it doesn't matter. You can go get the quarterback you want and pay him how much ever you want. When you're in a win now window, it's not going to hurt you like that. Now, again, in 25 and 26, it's going to count. They're going to have some hits against their cap without him being there. Plus, they'll need to pay whoever the new quarterback is. But this is a team that's obviously going for broke and going for it now. They feel like they have a 2-year window, and they're going to try to get it done. And they might even further restructure if they go 3 years on this thing and give some more voidable years. But at the end of the day, I told y'all, everybody, if they get Rodgers, they cap gonna be this and that. They just like us, but they actually got the gall to go ahead and do what they need to do because they in a win now window and they're not gonna play no games. They not gonna take no chances on no they're not gonna take no chances on no Zach Wilsons of the world. They've obviously made that clear. And now they go into the draft and they still have options. Let me see something. Cap. Let's see. So right now, Spotrac has the Jets over the cap by $6 million, which is nothing because they're going to have their draft picks from 3 years ago that they're about to be doing new contracts for. So they're pretty much set, and they'll probably add a few more weapons. We'll see what happens when it's all said and done. Good news with the Miami Dolphins that I heard, man. I'm just nervous about. I'm trying to cross my fingers. There's still an offensive tackle that's available who's actually, I like him more than serviceable. He'll be the best right tackle on the team. Cameron Flemings. The Miami Dolphins need to not play games and go ahead and do what they need to do and bring in Cameron Flemings. And we'll officially have our starting right tackle. You can call it competition in camp, but he's going to beat Austin Jackson out of that position, most likely. He's going to beat him out. He's going to most likely beat him out. Go get Cameron Flemings, Chris Greer, please. Please, sir. Go get Cameron Flemings. I'm saying Chris. Go get Cameron Flemings. And then we'll be talking about the left guard, and that's it. And I'm okay with that. Please go get Cameron Flemings. He is sitting at home, unemployed. He is a good right tackle, not great. I mean, I don't even want to say good. He's a serviceable right tackle that can actually start and hold his own at a higher level than Austin Jackson. I ain't going to sit here and make it seem like we got a Pro Bowler, that he'll be a Pro Bowler. But I would be just fine with him being a starting right tackle. So, y'all, we'll be patient, but keep an eye on that, because from my understanding, they did make some phone calls. They did, have some conversations with his team, and but they put it on pause. I'm not sure why. But hopefully they double back that way, and Cameron Flemings is still available. I mean, we're talking about a guy who's been over there with the Bengals, Burrow and them. Please, Miami, make this move. Also, and we'll worry about the left guard one at a time, man. We still got a lot of off season. We got May, June, July. Training camp started at the end of July, beginning of August. So for the most part, we got May, June, and July. We got 3 more months. Whole bunch of voluntary, involuntary, mini camps, and all of that stuff. All that fluff stuff. We may get some content coming out, where the media is only present. Training camp, they allow season ticket holders to be present. So I'm still debating whether or not I'm gonna make the investment this year to go down there to training camp. We'll see. Most likely, yeah, but I'm still like shit out this year. Man, time is flying. Malachi, it's still a lot of time to roll, man. It's still a lot of time. All right. I'm a season ticket holder. All right, Michael, maybe you get out there a few days. Maybe you find your way out there a few days. That'll be pretty dope. Hopefully I'll run past you. But anywho, y'all, if y'all have any questions in the comment section, I do want to take a pause for a moment and focus on some of the things that you all want to talk about. I always come on here and talk my talk and have my conversation. But I want to open it up for a brief moment. For if anybody has any questions, go ahead and put them in the comment section, and I will give you my take. All right. So this is your opportunity now. All right. If you want tickets at cost, hit me up. Who you talking about? I have my training camp tickets every year. Should Tua go to the Hall of Fame? I mean, I think it's always a great idea for all players to go to the Hall of Fame game, just to start the season off, but most players don't. But the Browns and the Jets will be playing in that game. Hopefully I answered your question. Come down for training camp. Just don't wear all black, TD. I got you. I learned my lesson, or have I? Sometimes I like wearing all black to get the good sweat in. Give Rodgers what Tua had, and he'd be killing it to a Super Bowl. Well, I don't think it's that far off. Hey, do you think Chris Greer is a down low Patriots guy? No, I know what you mean when you say that, but I think Chris Greer is doing what he can. I'll just leave it at that. I want to say all kind of stuff. Tua last year to prove himself. That's a great question. It's not his last year to prove himself. It could be his last year to prove himself, but it doesn't have to be. What if he's above average this year and we win a playoff game? What if he's above average? He still ain't the guy, but you know what? We already got the 5th-year option picked up. He didn't fall off a cliff like Baker Mayfield. That's why I told y'all Tua is the most dangerous type of quarterback. He's good enough to not be good enough, which means he ain't no bum. He's the type of guy that it'll string you along. You'll always be hopeful. He'll give you some great moments and some terrible ones. But at the end of the day, it all even out. That's exactly who he is. So, no, this ain't the year to prove himself. This will be the year that you like for him to prove himself. But this is an even more dangerous year to prove yourself. And what I'm saying when I say that, Baker Mayfield proved himself in year 3. And look what happened after that. Sometimes you got to ask yourself, is the guy proving himself or are the weapons around him elevating his game? That's what it comes down to. That's what it comes down to, right? Tua had no weapons and he was considered trash. He got weapons and became MVP candidate. Y'all, again, with this whole MVP candidate narrative, Tua was never an MVP candidate. Tua was talked about in the media's MVP race. Do you know what an MVP candidate is? Candidates, they know who the candidates are at the end of the season. Not in the first 7 weeks. They start talking about if Tua can keep this up, he's leading the MVP race right now. They started that conversation in week 7 when it came to 2 or 8 or something like that. Whenever the Lions and all of that stuff started. Wasn't even more than halfway through the season. So it's just ridiculous. And another thing, y'all got to stop making Tua look worse. A candidate. Pro Bowl alternate. Y'all got to stop that. TD, should the Dolphins trade X now and draft his replacement this draft? This draft is extremely deep at outside corner. Malachi, who's going to trade a guy who's about to make $25 million and have more time on his contract and he coming off one of his worst years? Who's gonna take that contract? Xavier Howard has no trade value right now. No significant trade value. The contract is high coming off of a bad year. Who does that? Who does that? Now, if his contract had a bargain on it, maybe somebody take a flyer, take a chance on it. But it's interesting you say this draft is extremely deep at outside corners. There's a lot of positions they should be drafting right now to be playing behind behind the person they're going to be taking over for. Xavier Howard should have a corner that's drafted to be taken over for him. What's his name? Teron Armstead should have a player drafted at that position. We should draft the right tackle. We should be drafting a wide receiver, a high wide receiver, but you only got one pick and is in the second round. So nobody is getting drafted to be replacing nobody. And you got to hope that the guys you draft miraculously can. Time will tell. Where do you rank Tua at in this division now? Tied at third. Tied at third. I mean, come on. Tua's tied at third. And I'm gonna give him some hometown cooking. Third. He's third. TD, should we draft a center? So can we move Connor to guard? No, they're not gonna do that. That'd be pretty dope though. I ain't gonna lie. If they got a great center that they see, that'd be pretty dope to draft a center in the second round and move Connor to guard and then go ahead and get Cameron Flemings. We got our O-line, ladies and gentlemen. I like the thought process. Jones MVP right into losing a third string QB. What is your excuse? Jones MVP. What is he talking about? Right into losing a third string quarterback. What is your excuse? I don't know what he's talking about. Rewrite it. Wilkins get traded during draft. There is a strong possibility of that, man, that nobody wants to talk about. Or he gets an extension this week. I don't know. We don't know. But that's very interesting. You never know. It's players like Christian Wilkins, you got to bite the bullet. You got to take that potential first round pick and go ahead and you got to take that potential pick and go ahead and get a player for the future. Which running back would you rather draft? Jamar Gibbs or Keaton Mitchell? Neither. I'm not a running back guy. I'm not big on running backs. Give me a great O-line, and then I'll take the running backs I got right now. And I'll keep paying them $1 or $2 million every year. And we'll be just fine, and we'll run the heck out of the rock. We'll run the ball. Do the coaches have Greer's ear in the draft? Whose selection is it? Really? It's a collaborative effort. So yeah, they have his ear. It's collaboration. It'll be interesting to see if we get any defensive ends, though. TD, are you doing mock draft? I haven't done a single mock draft. I might do one tomorrow. I might do one on the show tomorrow. Jones, how can an MVP player lose to a third string QB? Guess what? He is an MVP. What are you talking about? You must be talking to somebody else. One more concussion, he'll be done. Maybe. All right, if we win a playoff game, you have to be happy. No playoff win in 20 years. Michael Lash, I don't have to be happy. Listen, I'm serious. I'll be happy in that moment, though. But if the dust settle when we lose the next game, I'm not happy. You don't understand. I'm looking for this team to build a real contender. Winning one playoff game don't make you a contender. You know who the contenders are? The people who made it to the conference championships. Those were the real contenders. You made it to the conference championship, you were a real contender. That's how I look at it. 4 contenders every year. True contenders. Everybody think they contenders starting out. Everybody think they contenders starting out. The last 4 teams are the true contenders. And no, I won't be happy because I want to win a Super Bowl. You know what's even worse than continuing to miss the playoffs? It's building a great team, winning a playoff game 2 years in a row and losing after the first round or the second round and then going back to being trash. That's even worse. Have you ever heard of the Dallas Cowboys? Have you ever heard of the Dallas Cowboys? Have you ever heard of the Dallas Cowboys? Let me be hopeful all year and don't make it, but don't let me make it and lose in the first round every time. Or the second at best. That's worse. That's worse. He is what I thought back in 2019. What if Robert Hunt and Austin Jackson both ball out? Can we pay both next year? Well, I'm still trying to figure out when Robert Hunt getting his money. Robert Hunt should be talking about a contract coming up too. Right? Hold on. Maybe I got spoiled. How long Robert Hunt? Yeah. Robert Hunt need his deal too. He just finished his 3rd year and he ain't got no 5th-year option. I'm sure Robert Hunt's agent is saying, hey, man, can my guy get his cash? Y'all, I don't know how many ways I got to explain to y'all that Chris Grier is scratching his head like, man, I got a lot of people I need to pay, and we ain't talk about a little bit of money. I got a lot of people to pay, and we ain't talk about a little bit of money. I got Zyler wanting his money. I got Christian wanting his money. I got Hunt wanting his money. I had to pick up Tua 5th year. Connor Williams want his money. That's 4 big-time players right there. 4 players that we pretty much make it seem like we need right now. Javon Holland ain't up yet, or is he? Javon Holland ain't do 3 years. He did 2. Or did Holland do 3 years? Please don't tell me that. I'm over here tripping. Nah. I think Holland only did 2 years, man. Yeah. Oh, boy. You had me nervous there. You had me nervous. But that's 4 contracts Chris Grier need to figure out now. And then Noah need his 5th-year option picked up. And let me say this. Let me back up for a second, y'all. Let me say this. Forget Noah, right? We already know what that is. But what if Austin Jackson work out this year and he balls out? What if he does turn the corner and become a good right tackle this year? That's always a great thing. But God dog, now you got Austin Jackson, who you didn't pick up the 5th-year option. Now you got to give him a raw deal. Now you got to give him a straight raw deal along with Holland, Jones, Waddle, Phillips, and a lot more I ain't even thinking about right now. And a lot of other guys that I ain't even thinking about right now. What happened to just 2 years ago where it was like, will we pay Gesicki or will we not pay Gesicki? And he was like one of the only people that was due real money. What happened to those days where it's 1 or 2 people need their money? Right now, you got like 4 of them, 5 of them need their money. Next year, you're going to have 8. That's what I told y'all 3 years ago. The problem with having so many first-round picks is if they do work out, you can't keep them all. You can't keep them all. Waddle and Phillips got like 3 years till we pay them. What are you talking about? Jalen Waddle, you're going to have to pick up either his 5th-year option next year or he's going to want his contract extension. Talk about 3 years before you pay him. Waddle's going to want his extension next year or the 5th-year option has to get picked up. Same with Jalen Phillips. Why do people think you ain't got to pay somebody till next year? That's free agency. Yeah, we ain't got to pay them for 3 years. That's free agency. Waddle will be a free agent in 3 years, and that's including you picking up his 5th-year option. Even if you pick up his 5th-year option in 3 years, he's then a full free agent. And no franchise want these players to get to free agency to try to re-sign them. Because now you got to outbid everybody. And you see what franchise tagging doing now. You going to franchise tag a defensive end and pay him $30 million? You going to franchise tag a wide receiver and pay him $30 million? You see what these guys at those positions are making? It's easy to franchise tag a tight end. The top three making $10, $11 million. You don't want to get into no franchise tag game with no Jalen Waddle. By the time Waddle up for franchise tag, it'll be $35 million. By the time Jalen Phillips up for for franchise tag, you're going to also have Micah Parsons and the boys getting 30-something million a year. I can't wait to see Micah Parsons' contract. Man. You think we won't pick it up, the fifth-year option? We won't have to pay him means their cap hit won't hit us yet. Andres, are you talking about Waddle and Phillips? Let me ask you a question, Andres. Do you think that the fifth-year option doesn't count against the cap or something? We won't have to pay him means their cap hit won't hit us yet. I don't get what you're saying. When you pick up the fifth-year option, you'll have a cap hit of that fifth-year option, which is way more expensive than the rookie deal. I remember speaking to somebody one time. They thought that the fifth-year option doesn't count against the cap, which is crazy. It's a hard hit against the cap. No, that's what that year is going to be. Release X next year will free up some money. Oh, my God. So I doubt that'll happen either. So you're going to release Xavier Howard next year? Man, sometimes y'all need to just go look at the contracts, how they work out. You got to go look at them. Look, in 2024, Xavier Howard is a $26 million cap hit, but he also got a $27 million dead cap. So releasing him, you still owe the $27 million. Now, the beautiful thing is you can spread that $27 million in the 4 years. So almost $8 million per year will be dead cap for 4 years. That means X wouldn't be on your roster for 4 years and you'll be paying against the cap $8 million each year. Each year would be $8 million. That's because he already did a contract. He already restructured his contract. So they've already extended X and gave him more guarantees. So it's going to be hard for that to happen. Because this year, I stand corrected because he must have just did a restructure. He's only $10 million this year. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is all the proof you need that Chris Grier is kicking the can down the road now. He knows we're in an all-in approach right now, going for broke. We are all in. Because the way he's setting these contracts up, there's going to be a lot of dead cap from a lot of players in 2025 and 2026. Imagine Tyreek's $10 or $11 million of dead cap when he not on the team in 26. Xavier Howard's $9 million dead cap when he ain't on the team in 26. That's just the tip of the iceberg. Ramsey the same way. You got to go look at how they did Jalen Ramsey contract. Just go look at how they did the contract. Matter of fact, I'll just share it with you. Chubb is straight. He a young player. They hoping that it's a long-term situation. Jalen Ramsey this year. No, they ain't did nothing to the Ramsey contract. He already got voidable years. See, he already got voidable years. See, Ramsey was supposed to be on the contract to 2025, but the Miami Dolphins, they built it out to where he's on the contract to 2027 so that they could have years where they spread out the dead cap. Because right now, Jalen Ramsey is going to be a $27 million cap hit this year. $27.3 million cap hit this year for Jalen Ramsey. Next year, no. Excuse me. Oh, my Jesus. I'm looking at this wrong. That's next year. This year, Jalen Ramsey is only a $3 million cap hit. See, they did it again. They pushed the money forward. Jalen Ramsey is a $2.9 million cap hit this year. 2.9. With $36 million in dead cap. So next year, I find it hard to believe they're gonna pay him $27 million next year. They'll probably restructure it again and push the money down the road. So yeah, y'all. Yeah, what happened was the Rams did the favor for Miami. They did a restructure before they traded him. The Rams are taking a restructure dead cap this year for Ramsey of $19 million. The Rams have a dead cap of $19 million, y'all. And then Miami took the contract for the low this year, but then they set up the future contract. Honestly, they got his contract set at 3 year, $55 million. That's what Miami did. So he's 16, average salary of $18 million with 35 guarantees. So Ramsey's on a 2-year contract, 23 and 24. And after that, I just don't see it. After that, I don't see it. 2023 and 2024. There you have Jalen Ramsey. Same thing with Xavier Howard, 2023 and possibly 2024. Ladies and gentlemen, 2025 is going to be a year. Let me take a quick look at Armstead. I just want to see how all these contracts match up. Teron Armstead, same thing, 2023 and 2024. Then they can get out of it. He's a $9 million cap hit this year with 40 dead cap, $21 million cap hit next year with $24 million dead cap. Will they restructure or will they move on after 2 years? It depends on the level of success we're having. If it's going downhill and we ain't winning and we trash, they're going to scrap this whole thing after 24. There's a good chance we could be right back in a rebuild in 25 if this don't work. And last, let's look at Tyreek Hill. Just looking at some of the bigger contracts. Tyreek Hill. See, Tyreek think he's slick. He trying to say I'm retiring in 2026 because he want Miami to push that contract out. But Miami can get out of that contract after 24. Tyreek's the same thing, 2023 and 2024. He's a $13 million cap hit this year because they restructured. And he's getting a $6 million restructure bonus. But he's $66 million dead cap. Next year, he's a $31 million cap here with a $6 million restructure. And it's $54 million dead cap. But then in 2025, he's a $34 million cap hit with $22 million dead cap. Or they could let him go and deal with $11 million dead cap for 2 years. Everybody is set to where if it's going good, we'll do all we can to run it back for 2025. If things aren't going good, all y'all going in 2025. 2 more years is the window. It's just like the Bucks. 2-year window, and if we winning and it's all going good, we'll run it back in 25 and we'll screw the next 3 years. Which I'll sign up for. If we get a Super Bowl, we get in the playoffs one and win a Super Bowl in another, I'll run it back in 25 and make it even worse. But that's what all these contracts are set up for. 2 years to compete. If it's going well, we can make it 3. If it's not going well, we'll end it at 2. And remember, by making it 3 is only because it's going well and we might be going for another Super Bowl. That means we already won one and we're going for another. Or we don't went for one and we got to try one more time. But it does make 2026, 2027 impossible. Because players like Waddle and all of those guys, it'll really be hurting our cap. See, now my head hurts. I mean, all y'all got to do is go follow the evidence. What did the Rams do? They did the same thing, right? They went for it for the 2 years. They got one the first. I don't know if they got it the first year, but they had a 2-year window, ran it back. They tried 3, and then they blew it up. Because you can't afford nothing else. You can't afford to even push things down the road no more. They blew it up. What did the Bucks do? They went for 2 years. It was going so well. They tried a third, then they blew it up. That's what we're doing. That's exactly what we're doing. Now, guess who's not doing that it looks like they're doing it? Believe it or not, the Jets ain't actually doing that. Because the Jets roster is really young. They don't have all the Tyreek Hill signings, Teron Armstead signings, Jalen Ramsey signings. See, those key players for them, all of them on a rookie contract just about. All of them are just about on rookie contracts. And they got players that can take over once the bigger contracts are gone. And they're going to continue to try to build it that way. We got young players, I agree, Edwin, but not as many. The problem is a lot of our young players, we failed. Think about our young players. I want you to name all the people that we tried to get to start. Noah Igbenogany. We wanted him to be a starter. Channing Tindall. It's early, but I'm sorry, it ain't looking good. The man could barely sniff the field. He could barely sniff the field. And they already seeing that. What's his name we just traded? Hunter Long. Austin Jackson so far. Solomon Kinley. Eichenberg. Let me see any more. Curtis Weir, I don't think we planned on him being a starter, so no. Talking about guys that we were hoping could end up being a starter. Raekwon Davis, that's 7. You got me with that one. Think that might be it. Rosen, I'm not going to count that. I'm not going to count Rosen. Ezukama, no, we didn't expect him to be a starter. Guys that we expected to fill a starting role. I believe we can end it Right there. But what I'm saying is that's 7 guys right there. That's 7 guys right there. Seven. No, we ain't doing. I'm talking about the last 3 years, y'all. I'm not going as far back as Grant Ballage and all that. I'm just talking about the 3 years, this specific rebuild. There's definitely more. Yeah, I think at the linebacking core like 3 years ago and stuff, there's a few more, but let's just stick right there with it. Let's stay right there with it. I think that those 7, that's a good, that's 7. Those 7. But think about it. Those 7. We wanted these guys to be starters. We haven't drafted anybody to replace them. We haven't drafted a single person to replace any of those positions, y'all. Now, let's talk about the ones that actually worked out in the last 3 years. We are working out in the last 3 years. Holland, Jones, Waddle, Phillips. Hold on, I get another one. Ain't no Tua. Stop. Hunt, Robert Hunt. Tua's in the middle of all of this. We still don't know. 5 guys that have worked out. 1 we don't know, which is our quarterback position, and 7 guys that didn't. Wilkins ain't in the last 3 years. He's 4. Jury is still out on Waddle. No. He's a starter in the NFL, no matter how you slice it. He's a starter. So 5 out of 13 with 1 possible and 7 so far failures. That's what you're dealing with. Now, those ones that did work out, Waddle is a first round pick. Phillips is a first round pick. Is that pretty much it? Holland, early second round pick. 2 more is Brandon Jones and Hunt. What round was Brandon Jones and Robert Hunt? Any of them second round? I'll be forgetting, so let me see. All right, so Robert Hunt. Man, where is it? Robert Hunt draft. Gosh, why is it so hard for me to find when this man was freaking drafted? Robert Hunt, second round pick, 39th overall. So I think Brandon Jones must have been third round. Third round for Brandon Jones. Third round. So second and third. So we've gotten 2 first rounders, 2 second rounders, and 1 third rounder to work out. Yeah, we'll say that. To work out. As far as the guys that didn't work out, 2 first rounders, which is Jackson and Noah. And a whole bunch of other guys. I mean, I think all of them is like second and third round picks. When was Liam Eichenberg? Because I think we traded up for Liam in the third or something. Please don't tell me Liam was a second round pick. I feel a lot better if it's the third. Let me see. God dog it. Number 42, second round. Can't make this stuff up, boy. Oh, gosh. Solomon Kinley was a fourth rounder. Okay. What was Raekwon Davis? I hope it was a fourth. Dang, Raekwon was a second rounder. I forgot all about that. We drafted Raekwon in the second round. Dang, if I would have remembered that, I would have been putting more heat on that conversation. I thought it was a fourth. Well, we always needed a true nose, and that's what we brought Raekwon in for, and it didn't work. But I didn't remember it was a second round pick. Man, we failing, man. Oh, I know that was a Flores pick, but it's still Greer responsibility. Man. Dang. I had no idea it was this bad. You got Jackson in the first round, Noah Igbenogany in the first round, Raekwon Davis in the second round. We just looked the other person up. Eichenberg in the second round. Who else was it? I know we named what was the list of guys that didn't work out? It's a whole bunch of linemen. We already said Solomon Kinley, Eichenberg, Jackson, Noah, Raekwon. It was 7. It was 2 more. It was 2 more. Hey. Hunter Long. And it was 1 more. Hunter Long and then 1 more. I already said Austin. Dang, we had 7, right? Dang. I didn't even realize again Hunter Long was a 3rd round pick. Channing Tindall. It's still, and again, Channing Tindall is unfair to put him on there, but I kind of compare Channing Tindall to Brandon Jones. Brandon Jones' rookie season, he got some play. Channing Tindall barely sniffed the field, and that was one of the weakest positions we had. That's why I'm like, I don't know if they think highly of Channing Tindall. Let me see. Another third-round pick. Every single person, with the exception of Solomon Kinley, was a first through the third-round pick, and we failed. And Kinley was a fourth. I ain't even counting the Jared Dokes, Larnell Colemans. I ain't even counting the 5th, 6th, and 7th-round picks. I'm talking about the guys that we expected to come in and develop the start because we wanted Solomon Kinley to play guard. But when you look at that, 7 guys in the first 3 rounds, failure. 5 guys in the first 3 rounds, we hit on. And 1 is still undecided. Tua, of course. And are you going to hit on everybody? No. No, you're not. But the numbers are pretty bad, y'all. The numbers are pretty bad when you talk about first-round picks. You hit on 2 and you missed on 2. When you talk about the second round, hit on 2, missed on what, 4? You missed on 4 second-round picks. You got 2, and that was Holland and who was the other one? It was somebody. I don't remember going through all of it again. Robert Hunt, yeah. Robert Hunt. And remember, let's be honest here. Robert Hunt is a guard in the NFL. That's like a first rounder. That's exactly what you want, to go draft a guard in the second round that can start. That's what you want. It ain't a tackle. A tackle, drafting a guard in the second round, you're looking for that guy to start. Drafting a quarterback in the second round, you ain't looking for him to start. Drafting a defensive end in the second round, you ain't looking for him to start. But you draft a guard in the second round, you're trying to get that guy to start, and it worked out. Robert Hunt. So Holland and Hunt. But we failed on 4 second-round picks and 2 first-round picks. That's what y'all need to remember. That's all I'm going to talk about going forward. Like when I talk about Greer, I'm going to remember that. I'm going to remember that in the last 3 years, he missed on 2 first-round picks and 4 second-round picks so that people can understand context. He missed on 2 first-round picks and 4 second-round picks in the last 3 years. You can't tell me that's acceptable. That's like saying you got 4 first-round picks and 6 second-round picks. 4 first-round picks and 6 second-round picks. And you go draft all your players and you miss on 2 of those first-round picks, you're 50%, and you miss on 4 of the second-round picks, and you're 33% in the second round. Again, nobody's perfect. That's why that Tua selection is going to be everything. If Tua works out, it puts him above 50% in the first round. If Tua don't work out, Chris Greer is a disaster in the draft. That means he'll be 2 of 5 in the first round, 40%, and he'll be 33% in the second round. It's unacceptable. And his overall will be 4 of 11 if he don't work out. 4 divided by 11 in the first 2 rounds. 36%. Unacceptable. Only thing Greer been good at is bringing in free agents and trades, in which we give up tons in trades. Dang, when you really think about it, we had 4 first-round picks. Well, 5 because of Tua. 5 first-round picks and 6 second-round picks in the last 3 years. 5 first-round picks and 6 second-round picks. That's crazy. And them second-rounders really hurt. 2 out of 6. That's your bread and butter. Second and third round is your bread and butter, y'all. Your first round is supposed to be give-ins. Gesicki, well, I didn't even add Gesicki. We're only going in the last 3 years. Last 3 years. So we need Tua to work out. There's another guy we need to work out that you low-key better watch out for and hope he don't get replaced. He's played good football, in my opinion. But there's one player out of all these players that we were just naming that I'm not sure his starting role will be guaranteed. Any guesses, y'all? Any guesses? Truth be told, we don't even talk about him much. And he didn't have a great year last year. Honestly, he played very poor last year. No, it's out of the young players in the last 3 years that we were just talking about. And I counted this guy on the successful side of starting, but I don't even know if I should have put him over there, to be honest, as I think about it. Mary Fritz, he got it. Mary Fritz got it. Brandon Jones, y'all. Brandon Jones. Did you notice they've been looking at safeties in the draft? Did you notice one of our free agent acquisitions was a safety? That wasn't just to replace Eric Rowe. And he did not play well last year. Nobody talks about it, though. Matter of fact, let me look at his PFF. He might be around a 68 or something. It ain't bad, but let me see. Brandon Jones. Well, I hope it is. At least be over 65. Brandon Jones PFF. Oh, gosh. 61.1 last year. In yellow. 61.1 last year. Brandon Jones. 61.1. He only played but 5 games. I get it. But again, you only played but 5 games and injured. That's a problem. They may be concerned about that. I like Jones. Don't get me wrong. Yeah, I think he's a good player too. He wasn't his brightest last year. And it was only 5 games. You're right. But there's still 5 games. Still 5 games. Not to mention, I'm telling you now, they brought that safety in. You don't just overlook that. Don't just overlook that. Let me see here. Just keep an eye on it, y'all. It's gonna be interesting to see if he's the starting safety week 1. Just remember I said that. That's all I'm saying here, okay? Let's see if he's actually the starting strong safety in week 1. Let's see. Miles Jones said Brandon Jones one of the last people we should be concerned with. Really? Do y'all even know the name? 10. Do y'all even know the name of the safety that we brought in? Let's see. Let's see. Where are my Dolphin fans? Do y'all even know the name of the safety that we brought in? There you go. There you go. But do you know anything about him? What I'm asking is, do you actually know anything about him? What do you think about Deshaun Elliott? I guess that's a better question to ask. What do you think about Elliott? Let me know in the comment section. I'm just trying to get y'all take. Now I'm finna blow your mind because I know your Dolphin fans don't like hearing stuff like this, but you need to get over it because Deshaun Elliott is a Dolphin too. He better than Brandon Jones. Nobody took the time to think about that. Y'all just automatically thought when we signed him, he's the backup now. He's actually better than Jones. Everybody just thought we brought him in as depth. He's a better safety than Jones and has done it for 4 years at a consistent level. Just saying. This is why I'm saying to y'all, it's a toss-up. It ain't no toss-up. It ain't no toss-up. It ain't no toss-up. When it come to coverage, I'm going to be honest, I don't even think it's close. When it come to coverage, see, Brandon Jones is a in-the-box type guy. You want to send him on blitzes and stuff like that. Bigger frame, get to the quarterback. But in coverage, it's not even close, y'all. I'm saying this is as humble as I possibly can. It's actually not even close. Secondary coverage back there, it's not even close. It's not. Anybody second that motion? Because maybe I'm just talking right now. Anybody know his game and study Brandon Jones' game and agree or disagree? Anybody familiar, or am I just on an island here? Let me check the comment section. He is better than Jones. I agree. What are the PFF grades of our free agents? I agree 100 with you. I'll check some PFF in a little bit. I agree 100 with you. Ravens let him walk. They also let Zach Zeeler walk. So look how that turned out. Appreciate it, Ravens. I agree 100. Scott team captain, maybe. He was part the Lions' turn. You saw that Lions secondary player that got in trouble? He was their starter, though. Hello, Cat. Yeah, man, you could actually compare the PFF. So here's Brandon Jones' PFF the last 3 years. 3 years ago, he was a 60.8. Then he regressed down to a 53.4. And last year, he was a 61.1. So He's a perennial 60. Technically, his average is probably around 57. But Brandon Jones for 3 years has been like a flat. I'm actually giving him the benefit of the doubt. He's a flat 60. A flat 60. Deshaun Elliott, 69.6, 65.6, and a 66.5. He's just a flat 67. And you can go back an additional year because he got 1 year on Holland as a rookie. He was a 70. Well, 69.7. So 70. So Deshaun Elliott is pretty much a 68 level corner. Now his pass coverage has went down just a little. Last year he was a 60. Hold on, I just got off of it. Why would I do that? Now give me a second, see if I can get back. Yeah, last year his coverage was a 64, and Brandon Jones' coverage was a 52. The year before that, Brandon Jones' coverage was a 48. And then the year before that was a 59. What you don't realize is Brandon Jones is not a good cover corner in that secondary, ladies and gentlemen. We just don't talk about it because what do we usually see Brandon Jones do? Sack the quarterback, get in the backfield, playing close to the line. You never see Brandon Jones with the deflect. You really don't see those things. You never talk about him, but you just don't hear his name much as getting beat in the secondary because truth be told, they don't use him much in the secondary like that. They actually don't use him that much in the secondary like that. Not as much. In his whole career, he has 0 bat downs. It happens. Let's see where his bread and butter is. See? Brandon Jones got 16 hurries on the quarterback. 4 hits on the quarterback and 8 sacks. For a total of 28 pressures. 28 pressures. But Deshaun Elliott, more years than Brandon Jones and only got 21 pressures because Elliott is in the secondary. Jones is at the line of scrimmage a lot. And this is Vic Fangio's system. Jones actually ain't the fit in Fangio's system, ladies and gentlemen. I told y'all this before, but y'all out here listening to these other people tell you otherwise. Half of this defensive roster ain't even good fits for Fangio's system. And Brandon Jones is one of them. He is not a schematic fit for this system. The only time you want Brandon Jones on the field in Fangio's system is if you putting him at the slot, but you're going to send him on a blitz. If you're going to sit him in the slot on a play, but you actually really sending him on the blitz, that's it. I'm just saying. You might, in Fangio's system, you might see Brandon Jones getting picked on this year. But that ain't going to happen because I'm telling you now, there is a good chance Elliott might end up being the starter. Elliott might be the starter. Telling you, Brandon Jones ain't even a scheme fit. But again, you got to adjust, and we'll see if it works. But he wouldn't even. Brandon Jones hasn't been great, y'all. To be honest with you, Brandon Jones look like he's going to end up being a depth player. So I got to be honest with y'all. That whole notion that I had him as one of the successful picks, he's going to end up being a depth player. His rookie year, Eric Rowe started. His second year, he got more starts with Eric Rowe in and out. But we'll see. Time will tell. Anyway, y'all, we got the AFC East roundtable tonight. We got it tonight a day early because we're going to be doing a lot of draft coverage later in the week. At 8 p.m., we have the AFC East roundtable. So if y'all want to check that out tonight at 8 p.m., y'all go over to the AFC East roundtable. Me, Dan, Richie, Tyson, we all going to be live tonight. So y'all come through, hang out with us. Let's talk about this Aaron Rodgers crap and talk about the draft and all that good stuff. And we'll go from there. But outside of that, man, I love y'all. Appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in to TD Fans Talk, home of the real Miami Dolphin fans. Hey, we'll see. Time shall tell. Brandon Jones was great for the zero blitz. Him and Holland had together more than 6 sacks. Yeah. And now you hear Vic Fangio. I don't like blitzing. I only blitz when I want to, not because I have to. Because he knows his defense had to blitz to be successful. So, and that's going away. That's why they went and got Elliott. But we'll see. Love y'all. Appreciate y'all. Fins up no matter what. I'll see y'all tonight on the AFC East roundtable. Peace. I am out. Check y'all out soon.